What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, this is kind of a spur of the moment type of video. I'm in my studio and I'm packing up. I got a bunch of rehearsals this week and a big gig this weekend, and I'm kind of getting some things ready for it. And I was watching a YouTube video in the background, and something kind of caught my attention about the video, and so I sat down and kind of started focusing on it and watching this video, and I hate to say that I got like mad at a YouTube video, but I've seen a lot of videos like this, and the premise in this video I think is a stupid premise, and I don't want to be the kind of person that just makes like negative YouTube videos, or like, I'm not gonna say who this video was by or anything like that. Like, I'm not gonna do anything like that, but I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth pointing out because I think it's bad advice. I think it's bad guitar advice for a lot of different kinds of guitar players, and I'll kind of explain why. So, let's say this genre of video, if you will, is like, I know you've seen them before, right? Like 3 guitars every guitar player should own. 5 guitars every guitar player should own, right? Why you should own a Tele, why you should own a Les Paul, why you shouldn't own a Les Paul, why you shouldn't own whatever it might be, right? And all of these videos, the thing that they all miss, I think, is preferences and individualities of guitar players. Like, we're not all the same person. We don't all play the same kind of music. We're not all into the same thing. And that's why there's like hundreds of different guitar brands and different types of guitars with all kinds of different specs and features and everything else, because not everyone is the same. And these videos really irk me because I feel like a lot of newer players go to YouTube and go to YouTubers looking for advice, looking for like, what kind of guitar should I buy, what should be my next purchase, you know, whatever. And I just feel like a lot of, especially bigger YouTubers, a lot of them are just giving, I don't know, I don't want to say like clickbaity advice, but it kind of is. It's just to get clicks. It's just to get, like, people watch the videos because they just want to see someone talk a bunch of crap about Les Pauls, or talk a bunch of crap about Paul Reed Smiths, or like whatever it might be, tube amps or digital stuff, whatever. And they kind of get caught up in all that, and that's the kind of stuff I kind of want. That's the kind of stuff I really want to stay away from on my channel. I'm not talking crap about anybody or anything, but if I see bad advice, I'm going to point it out. So if you're a younger guitar player or a newer guitar player, and you go and watch one of these videos and you think, God, man, I got to have a Les Paul and a 335 and a Strat and a Tele and an acoustic and a whatever and a this and a that. No, you don't. You don't. Right? Don't get bullied on the internet into buying a bunch of guitars you hate. Don't do that. Find what you like. That's easier said than done. But here's the thing. Brick and mortar music stores exist. You can go there. You can try different guitars. You can play different guitars. Online retailers have return policies. You can buy a guitar from Guitar Center or Sweetwater or wherever it is. This isn't a sponsored video by anybody. I'm not telling you to go anywhere and buy a guitar from anyone specific. But they all have return policies. You can buy a guitar. If you don't like it, you can return it. Like, try some different things. Try different guitars. I do agree with the sentiment that you should try different guitars. And I think that's sort of kind of the point of some of these types of videos. But they miss that though. They go into this like weird area of like, you're not going to be a versatile guitar player if you don't have X and Y and Z, and if you don't do this and that, and it's like, well, maybe you don't want to be the most versatile guitar player. Maybe you don't. And that's fine. Like, maybe you just want to be a punk rock guitar player or a country guitar player or, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. This is a hobby for 99% of the people that are into it. And for the people that it is a career, it's a pretty selective career. Like, no one's forced you into any avenue or lane that you don't want to be in. Right? So, like, if you don't want to be a country guitar player, you don't have to. No one's making you do that. You don't have to do that. If you just want to buy, like, pointy 7-string guitars and play technical death metal, do that. You don't have to go buy a Telecaster. I don't know. These videos are just so stupid to me, and it's like these videos, they just tell people you need to get this and this and this and this and this. It's like, well, I don't like any of those things. And I don't think it's I see some of these videos try to frame it of like people say, one of my complaints, right, with the Strat, like I literally just made a video about why I don't like Strats. And update, I sold my Strat. I know in the video I said I was going to keep it because why not, but somebody made me a really good offer on it and I was like, okay, and I sold it. So I don't have a Strat anymore. But like one of the things I see come up a lot is like, the thing about the volume knob on the Strats. That's one of my big complaints. I hate where the volume knob is. And I've seen videos where people talking about like, oh, I can't play a Strat because of where the volume knob is. It's not so much that I can't. I don't think anybody believes like I can't play an SG because it has neck dive. I can't play a Strat because the volume knob's in this bad spot. I don't think anyone believes that. And I think the people saying that stuff are just being hyperbolic. Like I don't think anyone means that. What they mean is I don't want to play a Strat because of where the volume knob is. I don't like it. Like, and people will say stuff like, well, Jimi Hendrix didn't have a problem with it. He played it upside down. Okay, but again, like I don't have to do that. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan didn't have a problem with it where it was. Okay, but I do. I'm like, I don't get why don't compare me to Stevie Ray Vaughan, one, and like don't compare other guitar players to other guitar players because we're all different. It's like I don't like it. I don't have to like it. I also don't have to just like suck it up and deal with it. I can just like not play a Strat. I don't get it. I don't get this like deal with it mentality. I don't have to. What? Why? Who's making me deal with it? I can do whatever I want. If I want to rip the volume knobs out and move them, I can do that. If I just don't want to play a Strat, I can do that too. Like, I've been playing guitar for 20-something years. It's like I've kind of developed a preference, and I think a lot of guitar players do. They develop their preferences over years and years of playing, and they kind of decide what they like and what they don't like. I mean, everybody knows why I like Les Pauls. I had an SG for a long time, I won't say a long time, but I had it for about a year or so, and I played it live some, and one of the issues I kept running into live was I would be playing, and I would do this. And nothing would happen because there's no switch there. And my subconsciousness was so used to being in the middle of, it's like my band plays a lot of shows. And I have a lot of muscle memory built around this. And I would be playing and just nothing. Right? When I was playing my Strat, I would be playing the Strat and I would go to roll the volume knob down and I would miss. And grab the tone knob and roll the tone knob down, and nothing would happen. The volume wouldn't go down, and my tone would just sound like crap. And I was like, what's going muscle memory, because I've been playing these kind of guitars so long with this kind of control layout that my subconscious just does that without me thinking about it. And if you're a semi-professional or professional musician and you have a lot of redundancies built into your live rig because you play live so much, throwing a new type of guitar in there really messes a lot of things up, because I'm not thinking about what I'm doing here. I'm thinking about the show, performing, all other kinds of things. And my muscle memory is just going to do what it does. When this part in the song comes up, I switch pickups there. When another part, when the end of the song comes up and I want to just kill the volume knob, it's there. I don't even have to think about it. I know my muscle memory knows exactly where everything is on this type of guitar. So that's why I have 3 of them, because I want redundancy. I've had people ask me that too. Why do you have 3 of the same guitar? Because I want 3 of the same thing in case something fails. I have another one. I don't want a Strat. I don't need one. I don't want one. I don't like the way they play. I don't like the way they sound. I'm never going to use it. And I don't have to, right? I don't have to play a Telecaster either. I don't like SGs. I do like SGs, but not for playing live though, because I'm not going to try to rewire my whole brain around. See, I almost said it. I can't. And I think that's part of the problem is the language there. I mean, I totally can, but I don't want to. Nothing or no one is forcing me to. I don't want to. I don't want to rewire my brain to figure out the control layout and learn where the switch is subconsciously and all that stuff. I don't want to do it. And I don't have to. So, if you're on the internet watching YouTube videos, presumably, as you are, because you're watching this video, and you watch a bunch of other YouTube videos, and you see these YouTubers telling you, you need to own this, or you need to have a guitar like this, or you should have X, Y, and Z, or whatever it's going to be. Don't listen to that. Figure out what your own preferences are by trying certain things. Right? If you like the way a guitar looks, and that's a big thing that people just don't want to talk about. Like, looks do matter. So if you like the way a guitar looks, play one. See if you like it. See if it's going to fit you. See if it's going to fit your style, the way it feels in your hands, the way it sounds, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to buy another one, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 5 of them, that's cool. Do that. You don't have. Now, if you do want to be like a Swiss Army knife guitar player, great. More power to you. Then have a collection, have a bunch of different things to explore a huge palette of sounds. That's not me. I've got like 4 or 5 sounds I use all the time, and I can get them all out of a Les Paul and the guitar rig that I use. I don't need a huge pedal board with tons of stuff on it. I don't need 6, 7 different kinds of guitars with different pickup configurations. I don't need that. I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. It doesn't do anything for me. So I'm not going to have them. So, I don't really know how to end this video. It's kind of just a rant. It's a real reactionary to a video that I saw today. And I've seen a couple other videos like this recently. And the first time I saw a video like this, I was like, that's kind of like non-advice, like whatever. And I saw another video like it, and another video like it. And then the one I saw today was kind of like the most extreme version of that. And I was like, this is so dumb. Like, it's just such bad advice. Buy a bunch of guitars that you probably don't like just so you can force yourself to play them and get out of your box, to get out of your comfort zone. It's like, as a player, technique-wise, skill-wise, ability-wise, yes, you should push yourself to get outside of your comfort zone. Like, if the only thing you can do is make a G chord and a C chord and a D chord, you do need to push yourself. Learn some more chords, learn some more licks and scales and stuff like that. Push yourself musically as a musician. But when it comes to like preferences and taste in guitars and amps and stuff like that, like, you don't have to own 10 different guitars that all sound different and do different things. Like, you don't have to own 10 different amps that all sound different and do different things. Like, I don't want a Fender amp. I don't want a Vox amp. I want Marshalls, maybe an Orange amp. I want stuff like that. I don't want Class A clean tube amps. I don't want them. I never have. Not gonna use them for anything. So don't get on YouTube and just listen to a bunch of bad advice. Don't do that. There is a difference between here's my spicy statement. There are YouTubers who play music, and then there are musicians who happen to be on YouTube, and there's a big difference between those two kinds of people. There are people that just sit in a studio all day long and make YouTube videos, and that's cool. That's not a dog. Like, I'm not like ripping on that. Like, clearly here I am sitting in my studio making a YouTube video, right? I'm not ripping on that. But they don't have the real world experience touring and gigging and playing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows like musicians do, right? Like gigging musicians do. So when you're listening to like some guy on YouTube who sits in his house all day and plays guitar in his studio and makes YouTube videos, don't think that you can take his advice or her advice and apply it to the real world as a like touring or gigging musician, because you can't. And again, that's not a rip, it's not a dig or anything like that. But a lot of people on YouTube are YouTube guitarists, bedroom guitarists, studio guitarists. They're not gigging musicians. And so my whole point of my YouTube channel is to be on the other side of that coin, to show you what it's like being a real, actual gigging musician, right? Like, I don't need 10 different guitars that all sound different. I'm in a band that does a particular type of thing, and I need to be able to recreate that thing all the time as accurately as it was when I recorded it in the studio. And I need a very particular set of equipment to do that with. And I want redundancies in it, so if something fails, I have a backup, and I want reliability in it so that it doesn't fail to begin with. So that's kind of the perspective I'm coming at it all from, is being out in the real world where you don't have control of all the elements around you, where anything can go wrong at any moment, and you need to be prepared for those kinds of things. Not in a completely contained, controlled environment where you can have, access to anything you want to at any moment all the time, because that's just not how it works. And a lot of these YouTube guitar players, that's all they know, is just being in their studio, having access to whatever they want, whenever they want, all the time, and not having to deal with the problems and the technical issues that come with being a live musician. So don't, again, I'm not ripping on anybody. I just don't want you to think you can listen to that type of advice and then apply it to something completely different that isn't that. So that's the video. Stay tuned next week. Like I said in the in-ear monitor video I just made, I got the big Christmas concert coming up next week, and I'm going to try to do some backstage vlog type footage, that kind of thing. So if you're into that, I'll show you guitar rigs and guitars I take to the gig and all that kind of stuff too. So if you're into that kind of thing, subscribe to the channel, like the video, keep an eye out for that one. Thank you guys for tuning in to the channel. I'll be back later.